Today on DNVR Buffs Live, we get into the single best part of all of the rumors surrounding Coach Prime. And boy, is it great. Let's do it. Let's go.
Squad.
Oh boy. What a day it's been.
Oh yeah.
Every day is a great day, man.
It is.
We're blessed, man.
We are.
Facts.
We really are.
Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota Store. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Today on DNVR Buffs Live, we'll talk about what NFL scouts are saying about Shedeur Sanders in the NFL draft, new transfer portal windows, an early win total for the 2025 Buffs. We'll dig into Kaidon Salter, but we start with what was an absolute bombshell report last night.
It was something.
It was something. Jordan Schultz tweeted out in the middle of a playoff game.
Yeah.
In the middle of an NFL playoff game, he tweets out that there's mutual interest between Coach Prime and the Dallas Cowboys, that Coach Prime and Jerry Jones have spoken about the now vacant Dallas head coaching job. We'll get to what Coach Prime said, but your reaction when that came through.
My reaction, you want my honest reaction? No, I can't give you my honest reaction when it came through. No, my reaction was just exactly what I said yesterday. If you remember, because I tweeted the clip of what I said yesterday after all this came out, and if you didn't know better, you would think I would have said that after that rumor came out, but I said it before that rumor came out, which is just that, hey, look, this stuff's going to happen. The rumors are going to pop up. Like when Coach Prime is in the news, damn near everyone wins. Mm-hmm. Whoever reports it wins. Coach Prime wins.
Yeah.
His profile gets even bigger, if that's even possible. And so it's so beneficial to so many people for Coach Prime's name to be in the news that it's going to be in the news a lot. Bless you. And to me, it has nothing to do with the fact that Coach Prime, like I said yesterday, isn't a great candidate for these jobs. I mean, Coach Prime and Jerry Jones together would be incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Two of the best in terms of like marketing and generating buzz and all of that of all time. On top of it, Coach Prime's a football savant. And I don't blame anyone who wants him to be their head coach. Mm-hmm. When you get into the nuts and bolts of it and the way that you could make it make sense for him to be a head coach of the Cowboys is when it makes it pretty easy for you to say, this probably isn't going to happen. But like I said, this is going to happen over and over and over and over again. And I saw, sadly, some of our own get exposed on message boards geniuses.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
Oh, no.
And I just I wish they would have watched the show yesterday. They could have saved themselves from embarrassing us all. But this is what it is. And I'll get to my favorite part of all of this after I get your guys' reaction.
You were preaching yesterday, bro. I mean, that was a timeless message. And I wish people would take your advice because it's something that's going to have to continue to be talked about. But, just the reaction to the news, like the wild card round of the playoffs of the NFL just wrapped up last night. And who is the talk of the NFL today? That's Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and that's what Jerry Jones wants. That was Jerry Jones' plan, I believe, with kind of this call, to Coach Prime. And he knows that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and the Cowboys, those two in the same conversation, the same sentence, is going to drive clicks. It's going to drive conversation. And Coach Prime also knows that his name being in those conversations with the Dallas Cowboys is going to help drive his price up and get the contract, all the amenities that he wants and deserves from the University of Colorado. Coach Prime is doing Jerry Jones a favor, I believe. Jerry Jones is also doing Coach Prime a favor. This is a couple boys who go way back, who have real love for each other, looking out for each other in a public manner. And with that being said, I mean, we can go into it. Coach Prime talked to Adam Schefter, and Adam Schefter told us all what Coach Prime told him. And the part that gets me, he talks about after you hang up. I'll read the whole thing. Quote, "To hear from Jerry Jones is truly delightful, and it's intriguing. I love Jerry and believe in Jerry. After you hang up and process it and think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder and everything there is about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community. Now, everybody can take their own take it how they want. But for me, that seemed like Coach Prime publicly telling Jerry Jones, no, thank you. I'm good. I love you. You my dog, but I'm happy with where I'm at and what I got going on right now. And we'll see what transpires, but that was kind of my initial reaction. Yeah, we can get into all the reasons why I don't think it really makes sense from a logistical perspective, but that was my initial reaction.
It doesn't make sense for many reasons.
Facts.
When we talked about the Raiders job, and they're sitting here at 6th overall in the NFL draft, they are in striking range to trade up to 2 or even 1 if they wanted to. But another thing with the Raiders job is if they had Coach Prime as their head coach, do you understand how hard it would be for the Raiders at that point to trade up when everyone knows who they want to go get? I mean, the price goes up by multiple first-round picks. Like yes. Impact, like Max Crosby is like being thrown in the deal now. Now you drop down to the 12th overall pick with a quarterback who just signed a massive extension, who if they moved on from this next coming season, Dak Prescott, it'd be $110 million, I think, in dead cap, which is more than what the Broncos just went through for Russell Wilson's dead cap. That doesn't make sense. Plus, I mean, look, man, I don't think Coach Prime has lied to Buff Nation yet about anything. And I still don't think he has. We got 30 new players. We got guys like Omari and Miller who are still on this roster, who are from the original recruiting class when he first got here. I don't think he would lie to those guys. By the way, they had a first-team meeting on Sunday, and he talked about how excited he was for his team.
Yeah, Jake, you're knowing too much ball right now. That doesn't drive clicks. You have to just put the blinders on to all that stuff and just say, Deion Sanders to this place, and that's what drives clicks. You nailed it. It doesn't make a lot of logistical sense. People that know Jerry Jones, obviously we have a Cowboy show on the network with some great Cowboys people like Clarence Hill, Jeff Kavanaugh, Jesse Holley, who played for the Cowboys. Like all of them about Jerry say like, Jerry's not going to pay someone else for the right to pay someone. He'd have to pay Colorado around $10 million just for the right to hire Coach Prime, pay him a massive salary. Then you're also paying Dak Prescott to not play for you, so then you can pay Shedeur Sanders to play for you. It's a lot of things that
trading draft capital for years and years.
Yes, and maybe you could make all of that make sense because you're getting Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders in Dallas.
Yeah,
and obviously that's going to print money, but the logistics of it don't necessarily lead to a successful path for a coach or player. So I feel like we've evaluated this far more than we even needed to. But I want to get to my favorite part about this.
Let's hear it.
Because when Jordan Schultz puts out the report, and then even more so when Adam Schefter puts out the report, the same people who hate Colorado, who have been telling you what a clown Deion Sanders is, how terrible of a coach he is, how this team is an absolute circus, they're a joke. The same people who have said that are reacting to these reports like a kid on Christmas morning. Now, why would that be, my friends?
They're intimidated. They see what's happening.
Because they know exactly how great Deion Sanders is and exactly what an incredible job that he's done at Colorado. And I absolutely love the fact that they have to tell on themselves and admit how great of a coach that they think Coach Prime is, because they are so excited at any thought that he might leave the University of Colorado. It is just, it's beautiful.
It is.
People telling on themselves, man. People telling themselves how they really feel about Coach Prime. They really actually love for him to be their head coach. And that's part of the reason why I said at the outset of the show, we're blessed, man. We are blessed to cover a team that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is the head coach of, the face of. And that's a blessing. And too, just going back on this, Adam Schefter was on McAfee this morning, and he said, quote, I spoke to Prime last night, and I put out exactly what he said to me. That was the quote I just read. The way that I took it, I being Adam Schefter, was that he wasn't interested in the NFL, but he was intrigued to speak to Jerry Jones. He was just happy to hear from his boy. Always happy to hear from his guy. Yeah. And that's really all this is. And again, I feel like it's very telling how quickly Coach Prime was to put his statement out there, because he knows probably that people are going to really run with this.
Yeah,
like the Raiders thing is one thing.
Right.
But the Cowboys thing, he's like, people can really run with this, obviously, because his history with the franchise, his friendship with Jerry Jones. I think it was really telling that Coach Prime was like, all right, maybe I should just put something out here and affirm my love for Boulder and the community. And again, I just think that was really telling. I just really don't think this has any legs here at this moment for all the reasons y'all have eloquently pointed out.
And for all the people who looked at that and instantly compared it to Mel Tucker, Coach Prime has more integrity in his pinky finger than Mel Tucker has shown probably ever as a head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't even have to go down that road. But let me say this. You want to know how this is a positive thing for Colorado? Because I can always find a way that this is a positive thing for Colorado. When Coach Prime calls you, it already holds so much weight. Mm-hmm. But after the reports of the Raiders being interested, the Cowboys being interested, there's not a single other college coach out there who has been mentioned for these jobs. Yep. You've seen, I think, Matt Campbell with the Bears. I feel like the Matt Campbell and the Bears have been flirting for 10 years.
It's really just the Bears, bro, because Marcus Freeman also has kind of been thrown out there. Yeah. But it's really just the Bears. You take out the Bears, yeah, you're right, 100%.
Other than that, you're not seeing college coaches being thrown into these head coaching vacancies in the NFL. So it gives Coach Prime even more cachet when he goes out there, that he's leading an NFL program so well in Boulder that NFL programs actually are interested in bringing him in to be their head coach. And this stuff, again, is always going to continue happening. And like I said, it's unfortunate that we got message board geniused.
Yeah, these are rough.
But people just need to realize that, like, Coach, this is all part of the machine.
Yes.
And the machine is what drives everything forward.
Mm-hmm. Also, not to mention, and people put this together pretty quickly last night, Coach Prime's represented by SMAC. Mm-hmm. Jordan Schultz is represented by SMAC. We are in contract negotiations right now.
Yeah, and that could go one of two ways if we're being honest, but sure, it's a good observation.
Let's take our first break. Maybe tomorrow we don't have to do a Coach Prime rumor segment on this show.
I would love to, bro. Let's keep it going. I was actually going to tweet out today, like, for a free DNVR shirt, predict the next team that Coach Prime will be connected
That
to.
would be funny, though. We should do that. But if this got you all stressed out, our friends at Live Well got you covered. Hit them up. They're really the best. They're all over Colorado, 25 locations. Use that code DNVR25 when you go in store, and you'll receive 25% off one regular priced item. That also works on the mobile orders. So head on over to livewell.com. You can scan the whole menu there, find exactly what you want and need, put in an order super quick and easy. Then when you show up to pick up your order, just mention that code and they'll give you the discount as well. Great staff, though. They're always super helpful and will help you get exactly what you need. Again, mention code DNVR25 in store and you'll receive 25% off one regular priced item. Some restrictions apply. Shout out Live Well.
Also, shout out to this new setup is really messing me up.
Game Time.
Shout out to Game Time. I don't even need to look at anything. Game Time's the best in the business when it comes to getting last-minute tickets at the lowest prices. It's truly the only way that I get tickets anymore. because I'm not like, I mean, you guys know I procrastinate everything. So I'm not someone who's going to be like, oh, ticket release. Like, let me hop on this and buy tickets for something 6 months from now. The only way I got tickets other than my Colorado season tickets is through Game Time. Because to me, it's the best way. It's the best way to get the best deal on it. And the app is just so user friendly. And I've realized maybe it's as I get older, the user friendliness of an app is just so important to me. I can't be like clicking around for the 3 bars that are like hidden somewhere so I can pull up a menu. You just open up Game Time, you type in what game you want to go to, you click around and see what the view looks like from your seats. You click twice and they're in your pocket and you're ready to go. So get over to our friends over at Game Time. Use the code BUFFS, that's BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Check out our friends over at Game Time.
Okay. Let's talk about Kaidon Salter. I'm just going to say this. We're going to talk about him. Do not label us as Juju haters or anything, Kaidon haters.
You definitely won't be able to label me as that after this conversation.
Well, this is just how it goes, right? We talk about one guy, we don't like the other guy.
Good caveat, bro.
So
well said.
We can send you about 100 clips of all the times we talked about Juju.
Exactly. That's my
Literally.
point. We've talked so much about Julian. We've hardly ever really talked about Kaidon Salter. So I dug into the film. I wrote a film room. Go check it out, thednvr.com. Basically, he is what he is. He's a true dual threat quarterback. What he's going to bring to expand Colorado's running game and he instantly injects life into it, just like that. Just the fact when he's on the field, it makes them more dangerous to defend because of his ability as a runner. Ran for over 1,000 yards in 2023 when he was the G5 Player of the Year, led Liberty to an undefeated regular season and the Conference USA title. He averaged 6.7 yards per carry and had 12 rushing touchdowns that year as well. The play's just never over with him.
Yeah.
Like, even on passing plays, it just takes one lane. Like, he's not like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson in terms of speed, where it's like, you can't give this guy a lane, otherwise it might be a touchdown. I mean, he's capable of doing that. It's just he's more of a make you miss an open field type of runner.
He's shifty as hell.
Yes,
Very
he
elusive.
is.
Elusive.
There's that. As I mentioned, he's a true dual threat, though. I mean, watching him throw the quarterback, this is a guy who's got serious arm talent.
He does, man.
He can get the ball downfield. He's not afraid to push the ball downfield or hit tight windows. He did that a lot at Liberty over the last 2 years. If you go watch the Oregon game was terrible for them. They got blown out, but
His touchdown pass in that Oregon game was nice.
the touchdown
It was a
pass was
dime.
really nice. They took the lead early.
7-0, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
7-0. You could say scripted drive or whatever, but it was a beautiful throw to the corner of the end zone, and he's done that multiple times. And then the scheme shift. This is going to be the biggest thing that comes with Kaidon Salter, I think, because when you watch him at Liberty over the last 2 years, it's a lot of read option, like orbit triple option, running triple option out of the shotgun. And then these RPOs, like we saw a lot of RPOs with Shedeur here the last couple years. I don't think Shedeur really took the R part of the RPO
Those are just POs, baby.
very seriously. But with Kaidon, I'm totally expecting an expansion of that part of the playbook. It's not just like glance RPOs too, or like curl RPOs. Like, I think you'll see him, running backs going one way, he's going to roll out on an RPO with the true option to either take off or go downfield, because that utilizes his strengths the best. We'll see exactly how much the scheme shifts because, with Julian, I do think he does fit more of what Shedeur was doing the last 2 seasons. He can run, but Kaidon's a troll dual threat, and he's going to change how this offense functions, technically.
Yeah, bro. His game is really exciting, man. This is a really dynamic player. Again, we use the words elusive as well. What you said about the play never being dead with Kaidon Salter is so true. Again, whether it's a run, whether it's a pass, he has the ability to make big plays. And again, I'm going to start with the run game because that's the most intriguing part of his game to me and how he can affect this Colorado offense, particularly on third down, right? Colorado was 40% on third down this season. It was 12th in the Big 12. On fourth down even, 38%, 15th in the Big 12. So I feel like, again, third and short, third and medium, Kaidon Salter's legs, again, whether it's a designed quarterback run or, scrambling, extending plays using your legs, is going to be huge for this Colorado offense in 2025. And again, this is a guy who's been looking at college defenses for the last 4 years.
Yep.
He is a seasoned guy. He's seen a lot of looks, defensively. And again, even if he isn't maybe the processor that Shedeur is or that Juju will one day be, he doesn't really have to be because, again, his ability to extend plays. If a picture isn't clear right away when you hit the top of your drop, again, he can run or he can extend, turn plays into scramble drill, which we know this receiving core, especially these young guys, already, kind of thrive at. So, and also, too, like you mentioned, he's still a talented passer as well. And that's the thing that I feel like with better weapons around him, better weapons certainly that he had at Liberty, I feel like it's going to be able to unlock maybe a different part of his game. I mean, you look at his total yards, over the last, 3 seasons of college football. It's impressive, dude. Like, you don't just luck into doing that as well. And again, just going back quickly on his run, the ability to create explosive runs, right?
Yes.
That's something we talk about just with running backs, like hitting a home run, a 20, 30-yard chunk. Kaidon did that a lot over the last 2 seasons. Runs of 30, 43, 35, 34, 52. And that was just in 2023. Even this year, again, a lot of chunks, 33, 36, 41, 32 a couple of times. Like,
I'm pretty sure all of those would be in the top 5 longest runs for Colorado.
That's what I'm saying, and he can do it in multiple ways.
More than
too.
double their rushing total for some games like that.
Swear. It'll be fun.
With that, and I'll let you get to your point here, but
Yeah.
Just playing 11 on 11. We heard a lot about it this season, particularly against North Dakota State, Kansas, and we saw how much that put Colorado in a bind. And Coach Prime's a smart guy. I mean, this is an NFL pedigree staff. Like, I think they really understand taking what your opponent does well and adapting that to your team. Really, that's just the evolution of a team, right? You see it all the time in the NFL with these coaching staffs who hang around for multiple years and multiple seasons, and how they're able to kind of pick and choose what their opponents do to them and make that a part of their game. I think that's a big aspect with what Colorado wants to do with Kaidon Salter. Play 11 on 11 because it's not even just Kaidon ripping off big runs. Like, if Kaidon just has a few decent runs for first downs, like the pitch on the read option or the give on the pitch on an option or the give on a read option, those are like capable of going to the house for 20 plus
Those edge players
yards.
have to be disciplined when you're playing Kaidon Salter. You cannot just, overcommit to the running back because, again, every time that dude is a threat to pull the ball. And again, 2 years ago, this team was dead last in the Pac-12 in rushing. This year, this team was dead last in the Big 12 in rushing. That will not be the case if Kaidon Salter is a starting quarterback in 2025.
Yeah, and what's so interesting to me about this is he's in my opinion, one attribute away from being elite.
Yeah.
And that's accuracy.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting about it is that's Juju's best attribute. And that is what makes me think that both of these guys can and will contribute to Colorado offensively in 2025. They complement each other really well. There's the old adage, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I don't think that's necessarily true if you manage it properly.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see, if this staff can figure out a way to say we're going to maximize both of these guys' abilities without tipping our hand on what we're doing because we're going to allow both of them to do both things. But the other part of this is, can that be taught? Can accuracy be taught? And can Kaidon Salter go from, I don't know what his career completion percentage is.
58.7.
Can he go from 58% passer to a 65% passer in one off season? And if that's possible, then you have like a real problem on your hands. When I say a problem, I mean it in the good way.
Yeah.
This dude is so electric and so puts so much stress on a defense that if he is able to get rid of a couple times a game where he misses a throw that he shouldn't have, he's a problem for other defenses and has a chance to make real noise at this level. And I think, again, that's a part of coaching, obviously teaching him how to be more accurate, and then it's also a part of play calling.
Yeah.
And figuring out what he does best and what he's most comfortable with, and making sure that he has throws that he likes on a down-to-down basis. But that's what makes this quarterback battle so intriguing to me, is they're a bit of yin and yang.
Yep. With that completion percentage, this last year in 2024 was the worst of his career, 56.3. But I'm sure you've seen it if you've been on Twitter too. Kaidon Salter had like one of the most yardage lost to drops this last season. And just this team wasn't as good as the 2023 team. I mean, it's clear in the record, but when you watch him on the field, like he was kind of their offense.
Yes.
In every facet of the way. So he was doing a lot out there with no real help around him. And now he's going to get to play with this receiving core, who is still one of the best receiving cores in the country. Like even without Travis and Jimmy and all those guys, like what Draylon, what Omarion, what Joseph Williams is going to do for this team, I think that's at least like 1 percentage bump in his completion percentage. Just you're going to have better players out there, you know, diving out for footballs, you know, making crazy one-handed grabs. Like we've seen these guys do all these things.
Yeah, and I think it's probably even more than that. And it's got to be what has Kaidon Salter so excited about his future, why he's so confident in what he's going to do here. Because he's going to have the best supporting cast around him that he's ever had in his life. And that just has to fire you up if you're him or you're us.
No doubt. And that's why I definitely think that he can make up, maybe not go from 58% to 65%, but definitely in that 63, right? 64 range would definitely be more than acceptable, especially when you add into what he's, you know, giving you with his legs. And again, man, this is going to be a fascinating battle. And I like the yin and yang comparison too, right? Because these guys kind of have like differing skill sets that ostensibly you would believe that both can be utilized in the same season. And that's just really exciting. But I think Kaidon, man, has a really bright future in 2025, man. I think he's going to produce some fireworks.
And look, there's like give and take, right? When you're changing eras like you are right now, right? With Shedeur, you know, theoretically passing the keys, and whether it's Julian or Kaidon this next year. Shedeur completed 74% of his passes last year, which is unbelievable.
Don't expect that.
Don't expect
from
that.
anybody.
You know who second in the Big 12 was and what the percentage was? Shedeur, 74%.
Like
Morton?
67.
Oh, Morton or TCU?
Pretty close. Hoover
Yep.
at TCU, 66.5.
Yeah.
Wow. And then there's a massive group there of people that's around that area, but those guys not a starter. Sorsby, 64%. He's next in terms of full-time starters. Morton, 63.3. Sawyer Robertson, 62.2. Sam Levitt, who people are betting over backwards for, 61.7.
Yep.
So it's this is what I mean about we are so spoiled with Shedeur.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to have to probably get used to one less completion per 10 attempts at least,
But
with a new quarterback.
But with that, like I led this whole segment off with, he gives you such a boost in the running game.
Yes.
If you take a 7% drop in completion percentage, but your rushing average goes up by like 90 to 100 yards.
If you're no longer the worst rushing team in the conference, it's
Exactly.
going to make it.
Like-
it's going to make up for that drop maybe in completion percentage. 100%. For sure.
Yep.
Exactly. So there's some give and take. It's not going to look close to what it looked like last year, but I think there's a good chance it could be more efficient overall.
And also, too, like Coach Primus talked about when he was talking about Juju, right? You need a winner at that quarterback spot, especially to be the quarterback of Coach Prime's football team. You have to be a winner. That's part of the reason why they were so enamored with Julian Lewis. But Kaidon Salter is the same way. I mean, this dude is a winner. I don't have his career record as a starter in front of me like I did a couple weeks ago, but it's pretty damn good. I tell you that. He's, you know, played in conference championship games. He's played in bowl games. You know what I'm saying? He's played against top 10 teams and held his own. So, and also, too, you know, talking about the completion percentage, it's maybe a little bit lower than we're expecting, especially coming off the heels of Shedeur Sanders, you know, campaign. I also feel like that has a little bit to do with maybe feeling like you are a team's offense and you have to take additional chances and you feel like you have to do a little bit more. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a case in Colorado when you're surrounded by additional talent, both, you know, in the backfield, out at receiver on the perimeter as well. It can allow him to, you know, maybe play more of a true point guard, trust his legs a little bit more. And again, I think this is going to be fun, man. I'm excited about this guy's game, though.
Let's take our next break. We'll put a bow on that and hit on the other things. Shout out to the homies over at Toyota. The most reliable, efficient, just clutch vehicles out there, really. You never see them broken down on the side of the road. And
Riding in Arceus Toyota is an experience, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the RAV4. But you can go get one all along the Front Range out here in Colorado. Visit AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Carwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Also, shout out to Kerr's Lot. Certainly, some people need to chill, as we saw on social media last night and today. And whether you're looking to chill or you're looking to celebrate, which there may be reason to celebrate soon, get yourself a nice, ice cold, crisp, refreshing Kerr's Lot. Just the best in the biz. I'm going on a golf trip with the boys this weekend for my bachelor party.
Nice.
Actually, bachelor party part 1. It's just how we're doing it.
Go crazy.
We're doing a golf and a non-golf. So I could
that.
get all the homies involved, including you two.
Yeah.
But you just know Kerr's Lot's going to be flowing this weekend like it's damn near running down a stream in the backyard.
This is the best football weekend of the entire year.
That was not lost on me. So we're loading up the Kerr's Lot, and you should too this weekend as you're watching football on football on football on football. It's a beautiful thing. And so is getting it delivered straight to your door with Instacart when you go to KerrsLot.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
So just a few more things on this quarterback battle. ESPN today put out an article from their college football staff. They predicted every single starter for the 2025 season in the Power 4. They had Kaidon Salter as the Buffalo starter. They, of course, mentioned Julian Lewis in the competition that's going to come. But we've got a long way to go with this whole thing.
Yeah, and that reminds me of an interesting dichotomy that I've noticed recently. CU fans, for great reason, were so excited, and the Juju chase went on so long that the celebration, again, justified celebration, was so big that I think it's hard for a lot of CU fans to get as excited about Kaidon Salter. As soon as you go outside of the program and look at national people, they're incredibly excited about seeing Kaidon Salter at the Power 4 level at Colorado. Yeah. And that's why you're seeing predictions like that. Heck, even, who was it? Skip talking about how Coach Prime just got 2 great quarterbacks. I don't think he's going to leave them. Like, a lot of people are hype about Kaidon, and I don't necessarily blame everyone for like feeling like they got so high on one train that they can't hop on the other one. But I think it's possible. Maybe just take some time for everyone to get as excited about Kaidon Salter as they are at Juju. And whoever ends up winning the competition is a huge feather in their cap that they were able to beat the other guy. And again, I think when all is said and done, you're going to see both guys in a lot of games.
I mean, yeah, just to put a bow on it, and I'm sorry to steal this, but I saw a tweet on Twitter not too long ago. Someone said like we should embrace this quarterback competition. Embrace the bridge quarterback. Like, this is a privilege type of thing. This is the sign of a healthy program, of a very competitive up-and-coming program. When you are able to bring in someone as highly touted as Julian, and you have the privilege of a Kaidon Salter still wanting to come here, like, that's a great thing to have. Because what you said, the old saying of if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none, I don't think that's necessarily true, especially in college football. You know, look at what happened with Texas. They had, we can say what we want, but Ewers and Arch Manning were able to coexist the last 2 years. So this is just what good football programs do at the quarterback position.
That's literally what I was going to say at the end there. This is what the best programs do, particularly at that spot. If you don't have one, you're losing. And sometimes if you don't have 2, it could come up and bite you in the butt. And luckily the Buffs have 2 really good ones, man. But I'm excited just to see these 2 on the field and kind of see them really see Juju, right? You know, in front of a college football defense. You know, that's something we haven't seen. You know, being 17 years old, I personally could not imagine that. You know, a true 17-year-old, and that's why I'm not Julian Lewis. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be fun to see him, you know, really go out there and compete, you know, against guys who've been playing college football for a handful of years, and see Kaidon Salter, right? Because this is going to be, you know, a test for him as well. You know, going up from Liberty, going up a level in competition, he's going to have something to prove. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. both of these guys will. And that's what I think what makes this competition so interesting. What makes those clips like, Kaidon saying that I'm going to lead us to the Big 12 championship, and we see Jewel in the corner, with a little smirk. That's what makes these moments so cool and so, riveting. And I just can't wait to see it all unfold, man.
Exactly. And usually when I say stuff like this, it's wishful thinking, but I hope it doesn't become toxic.
Me too, man.
Me too.
I really hope it doesn't become toxic within the fan base of there becomes a group of people who want Julian and a group of people who want Kaidon. And if you don't agree with me, you're an idiot.
Right.
Because that hasn't been an issue the last couple of years. Maybe in a small subset of social media, but everybody for the most part has been like, Shedeur's our quarterback, and there hasn't been any, dispute or debate about that. But that can get toxic, and I agree. I hope it doesn't.
So, yeah, I just hope everyone acts mature about it, whether or not you have a favorite or not. In the end, I'm going to, as it goes on, we're going to have who we think is going to win this, that, and the other.
Sure.
But in the end, I'm going to trust the coaching staff.
Right.
They're the ones who are going to see every single throw at practice every single day, and whatever ends up happening, will hopefully be the best thing for the Buffs.
Exactly. Moving on to Shedeur here. We talked about this before the season. This is from Pete Thamel at ESPN. But do you remember before the season, ESPN put out a poll? They polled like 20 anonymous scouts and NFL executives on who the top quarterback coming into this draft is. What's up, Cam? The results before the season, 9 of them for Shedeur, 5 of them for Carson Beck,
Sheesh.
4 for Jalen Milroe, 1 for Cam Ward, and 1 for Texas's Quinn Ewers. Well, they just did this again, and it's not even close. Well, it's close at the top. It's Shedeur who got 11 votes.
And how many do you have in the first one? 9?
He had 9, yeah.
Okay.
And Cam Ward has 9 votes now. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Just the top 2.
Yep.
Yeah, and so, Shedeur only gained ground. Cam obviously gained a lot of ground, and everyone else dropped out of the race entirely.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that. You're gonna see we're gonna get to that time now with Shrine Bowl coming up in a few weeks, with Combine a month after that. You're gonna see leaked Combine rumors about Shedeur Sanders, and it's gonna sound ridiculous. So
that's a good point. There is going to be like a full-on character assassination
100%
of Shedeur Sanders over the next few months, and it's going to be so disgusting.
Look at what happened to Justin Fields, a guy who never says anything, never does anything when he was going through the draft process.
Yep, and all of us know the truth. Cam, who's in the comments, knows the truth.
Right.
Yep.
Shedeur is a great teammate and a great person, above all being an incredible football player. But I'm just saying, be forewarned. There's going to be some stupid ass reports that come out.
And
100%.
you're right, bro. It's going to happen. But it's like, at this point where I stand, it's like, how can those stories even be formulated? What can you attack? You can't attack his IQ or his film work or his board work.
Yeah.
You can't attack anything off the field because he has never gotten in trouble. He's never been a problem. You know what I'm saying? So what really can you go at? But inevitably, it'll pop up. You're 100% right.
I mean, you can make up a report that players were talking about who was the most strapped on the team because they were comparing guns, and it can get on the Dan Le Batard show.
Yep.
Bro, it almost sounds fake when you say that out loud.
I can't believe we lived through that shit, by the way.
I can't either, man. It's GTA. You can make up anything about this team, and the people who want it to be true will take it to be true, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, you've seen that stupid account. I'm not even going to say their name because they don't deserve it, but like,
Oh, yeah.
10 red flags about Shedeur Sanders, blah, blah.
Generational hater.
Tweakers.
It's going to happen, and I'll just say it won't happen for Quinn Ewers or Carson Beck or any of those guys.
The opposite is going to happen for them.
Yes.
Because we watched them play football this year, but they're going to be brought up to a level that makes them draftable.
100%.
Did you see, I don't know if this is real, but I saw a graphic come out today that Carson Beck, biggest NIL deal in college football history.
Doesn't surprise me.
That's right.
Telling you, bro.
It's insane.
DJU 2025.
The transfer portal. We've talked about this quite a bit too. it's clear that they want to change the windows for the portal. We talk about this all the time, how there's no guidelines, there's no guardrails for any of this stuff. It's kind of just the Wild West. There's like 80 things happening at once. You know, we got bowl season, playoff, transfer portal, signing day. So I think we're finally moving towards there. Brandon Marcello from 247 Sports today tweeted out that the AFCA coaches want one 10-day portal window in January, eliminating the spring window and providing teams some calm in December as they navigate the postseason with a solid roster. The proposed date for the new window would be January 2nd to the 12th. The vote was unanimous among the AFCA coaches. It's being pushed up to NCAA Oversight Committee now for discussion. So we'll wait and see if we get official word, but they're trying to change it.
One more thing in terms of fake reports that could come out about Shedeur Sanders. They literally made up a report that everyone is being forced to go to his concert on campus.
Insane.
Oh, my God.
Crazy.
You're right, dude. They're going to come up with something, bro.
They will come up with something, and it'll just be more and more ridiculous every time. As for the portal windows, I can't keep up with this shit anymore. Just going to need you to update me every time.
I saw like a Baylor kid enter the portal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I literally don't know what's going on.
You know who that was? That was the running back.
He's
yeah.
Yeah, he's not out. Dang. The one that Travis forced to fumble right at the goal line. That's him.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that's crazy.
1,700 yards, I think, in his career so far.
Yeah. I look no season with more than like 600. Though.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're proposing getting away or getting rid of the spring window?
Yes, they've been trying to throw that out there for a minute. And I think it's the right thing to do, honestly. Like, you have one big window in the NFL for free agency, right?
Yeah.
But there's that initial wave, even the second wave.
Yeah.
It's maybe the first 2 weeks of free agency.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like if you transfer to whatever school in December after a season, right? Mm-hmm. And you go through winter and spring.
Yeah.
And at the end of spring ball, you're like, this isn't the place for me. I feel like you should be able to transfer, like guys have been able to. And I feel like taking away that ability, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Shimon Mateer, for example, talking about him specifically as an example, him as an individual.
Yeah.
He went on to have a hell of a season, at Arizona State. Again, in that same situation, came to Colorado in the winter portal, kind of went through spring. Whatever happened. But he ended up at Arizona State. It was a good decision for him. Obviously, the team went on. I feel like that should continue to be a thing, unless I'm misreading the no spring portal.
No, they want to get rid of that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
And here's what I'll also say is that it sounds like, from what I heard, it wasn't a personality match
right.
for Shimon and CU.
And that happens.
The offense and what, and he didn't feel like he really fit in. So I don't think it would have been a positive for Colorado either.
Right.
If he was stuck
to
here.
have him around, 100%. Right? If he doesn't fit, right. So that's just kind of how I feel about that.
I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it. I mean, I think that I think a lot of these players, maybe not a lot, there are some players who enter the portal that I don't think take the recruiting process as seriously as they should.
No doubt.
So, and that's your fault.
I feel you.
So, I don't know. You don't see that in the NFL where someone signs a contract and they do force their way out years later, but
right.
They're able to, but it's not like, oh, I went through training camp. This is not the place. Trade me now, even though I just got here. Come on, man. Go through the process. Talk to who you need to talk to.
Yeah.
Take your time if you have to.
For real.
But you don't need to rush to a decision in the portal because, again, this portal window is just to enter. Once you enter, you can take however long you want to be recruited, to go visit schools, to find your next destination. Just be thorough.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always of two minds about this. It feels like it's gone too far, but I also don't want to take any opportunities away from the players. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Also, if you guys want your Can't Drown a Shark shirt, which it says that on the back, you can check it out. I just Googled Cam Silman Craig merch, and it was the first thing that comes up. It's the producesectionclothing.com link, so you can get your Cam merch.
That's hard.
Shout out Cam. There was a book put an early CU win total out there. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about 7.5 over under for 2025?
First of all, never heard of the book, only heard of Bet365.
Yep, 100%.
This is what's crazy to me. And again, another way of essentially respecting Coach Prime. He comes year one. Over under was 3.5.
3.5.
Jeez.
Cleared it. Year two, we all knew that this number was way off, but the number was set at 5.5. Cleared it easily. And now, even with losing the Heisman winner, the best quarterback in America, and a senior class full of a lot of really good players, the number goes up 2 full games. And they're basically just saying, like, Coach Prime is inevitable. He's going to keep finding ways to make this roster better and better and better, and this team is going to win games next year.
I mean, it's what we've been talking about the last month or so since this offseason started. Where they've improved in the portal, where they've improved with this recruiting class, particularly the trenches, has been impressive. Again, the team meeting we saw, the first one on Sunday, this team is just getting bigger and stronger, man, and it's right in front of your face. You can just see it when you see these guys come in the building, and I think that's where all this is coming from.
It's a golf ball theory.
It is.
Was that preseason over under win total really 3.5 first year?
Yep.
So back-to-back years,
Clearing it.
Yep.
clearing it.
And clearing it early.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Facts.
after they cleared it the first time, they didn't keep going any further. But that was the first 4 games? 5 games.
No, they were 4-2 after they beat ASU.
6 years.
Yeah.
So it's covered in the first half of the season. And this year, they got to their 6th win.
Cincy.
Yeah.
So there you go. There you go.
That's what's up.
Very early, both times they cleared that number.
So basically, this book is expecting Colorado to go back to a bowl game at the very least this next season.
I think it's a fair line,
I do
honestly.
too.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no idea where to set it right now because we just haven't seen what the team looks like.
Right,
But
yeah.
I love that it's set where it is.
Facts.
We'll see after spring football. I think we'll have at least somewhat of a better idea. That's all I got. What's up, chat? Oh, my goodness. Buff News Weekly says, did you see the outline of NIL budgets that CU wants and that it included a $10 million head football coaching salary? Obvious what is happening behind the scenes. 100%.
Yep. I did see that, by the way.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I think it's on the CU site or
yeah,
like one Buff
it?
Club or one of those.
Some sort of like plan for the year.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Rick George sent out an email about the NIL collective. I can't remember if that was yesterday or 2 days ago, but basically saying what we said, though, like Buff Club, right? That's where you go to.
Buff Club is the new quote unquote collective. I think the general goal here was just to make it obvious and simple for everyone to know where to go. There's only one place to go now, and it's the Buff Club to contribute to Colorado athletics.
Okay, I want to say one thing because I saw a tweet that said like because of this whole thing, like, wow, the 54-30 alliance thing was a disaster, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Yep.
Because 2 years ago there was literally nothing.
Yep.
Not like I remember they opened like the Buffs for Life collective during my first season here. Like that's how far they've come, and they have power and cachet with what they did with the 54-30 alliance now. Like they were able to make shit happen.
People were calling me trying to get an NIL deal for a player who ended up going on to a bigger school and then becoming a high pick in the NFL because there was no NIL. Like DNVR was the NIL.
Yeah.
So yes, first and foremost, it was a massive success in terms of, I think we told the story on the show before, but like Coach Prime came and was like, hey, I'm going to bring a lot of really dope players. We're going to need to have some money for that. And they were just like, oh yeah, we haven't done that. They were like, yeah, you better figure it out. And so, people scraped it together and figured it out. And shout out to, especially a lot of the donors who could not have been happy about where the program was at that point, putting faith in Coach Prime and saying, all right, I'm willing to chip in on this. Then they became, they went from kind of upstart, just make this happen one way or another, to a much more formal and organized collective. And sorry for stealing your punchline here, but the only reason all of this is happening is because of the way that the NCAA changed the revenue sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the NCAA is what made the 54-30 go away, not anything that they did.
Exactly. Kamada says, would you compare Kaidon's running abilities to ASU quarterback Miami or Milroe? He's definitely not Milroe.
I would say he's somewhere in between past the first two and before, and not quite Milroe.
Yeah, it's like the style of what Sam Levitt does, but there's way more athleticism and dynamic like playmaking ability than what he has.
You mentioned Kyler earlier, and that's interesting to me. Like just a not as dynamic, explosive Kyler, but still some of those same kind of capabilities as a runner. That would kind of be my comp. Yeah,
short area quickness, ability to shoot guys out of their shoes for sure.
Bro, that one play where he was cooked in the backfield, bro, and made a defensive lineman damn near fall on his face, went through the middle with defense weave for a long touchdown, bro. Like that's you just can't teach ability like that.
Yeah, no, he's got the ability where even if he makes a mistake pulling the read option,
he can still
juke the edge and get upfield. You know what I mean?
Yes,
hell yeah,
I love that. There's a car that just stopped working in the middle of the road back there.
The last play of my college highlight tape is literally that.
Yeah.
It was like a 4-yard gain, but it was because of that. I'm like, yeah, I got to put this on. Like I made the wrong read, and the DN is just literally just staring at me in the hole. And I just like put on a shaking and got around him. I'm like, yeah, I'm throwing this on the highlight tape, even if it's a 5-yard gain.
Honor the Family asks, how long is this transfer portal window? It's technically closed. We do have a 10 or 15 day window, I think, in the middle of April.
Yeah. Like the guy from Baylor, the running back who entered today, he was able because he's a grad transfer.
He's a grad? Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Shelly asks, is the proposed window after the CFP title game? No, this would be before. It would be starting right around when the second round starts at this point. If everything calendar-wise stays the same right now. What's up, Big Teasy? Scott, what about a team sending a player to the portal to get info and bring him back? Cool with that?
No, and I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I don't think Shimon would be able to come in December, leave in the spring, and then come back to Colorado before the year.
No, but he could have left Cincinnati, come to Colorado, and then gone back to Cincy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't be cool with that. But I mean, yeah, that would be a huge issue that I believe the NCAA would have problem with. Damn. But yeah, I mean that's something that you can currently do then, right? Shimon could have did that.
Yes, I think so.
So that's already a loophole that exists. So
everything is going to be pushed to the ultimate limit until a rule is made. So this will end up happening.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like some kid is going to leave Georgia for Alabama, come back to Georgia, and then they're going to win the SEC championship, and it's going to come out that he was just an undercover spy the whole time.
It wasn't in conference or anything, but Caden Proctor literally did that last offseason. He didn't really go through.
True.
Yeah, but they don't compete.
I know, and they don't really. He didn't really go through spring football either. But he literally, left, went to another school, then said, "Nah, I'm going back in the next window."
That was wild,
crazy. How to be just despised by a fan base 101.
Yeah, for real. Mr. Hillsman, shout out to you, man.
Shout out Mr. Hillsman.
Been supporting for a minute, sends $100 super chat. Shout out to all the DNVR folks behind the scenes. Thank you, bro.
Yes. Shout out to all of them.
Kev, here we go, man. Prime ain't going to the NFL, and he's damn sure not going to that dumpster fire in Dallas. Jerry Jones won't share the spotlight with Prime. Yep.
Okay.
Megan with the super sticker. It's just a microphone. Thank you.
Hell yeah. I didn't realize it was a super sticker. I was like, what was the super chat just mean? A microphone.
Jeremiah with the super chat. Love to, but Salter not going to hold the ball, make 4 reads, and take sacks. He will make his 2 reads and take off with that if it ain't there. I don't think people realize how elite rushing for 1K is. I mean, seriously.
It's a solid comment.
Rushing for 1K as a quarterback it's very rare.
Yeah, bro.
Extremely rare.
Also, it's also extremely rare to be able to get to your 4th read the way that Shedeur Sanders can.
Yes.
No doubt.
And deliver that pass. And so, again, just very different skill sets. We just covered this. Shout out East Coast Kev for the super chat. about the over-under.
Appreciate you, Kev. And then Chris, our guy, just wanted to shout out them All City boys, DNVR Buffs, on that Make the Offseason Great Again campaign as usual. Keep on cooking, fellas. Thank you, my guy.
Shout out,
Appreciate
Chris.
You, bro.
Covering Colorado football is truly a gift. Like, there are people in our company that have teams that just the off season happens and they just go into hibernation and there's nothing to talk about for at least a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
We've had one day where we truly didn't know what we were going to talk about.
No, literally.
Yep.
And I'm sure there will be more, but we're going from this Coach Prime stuff right now to then multiple players going to be drafted in the top 5 of the draft. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to go into a quarterback competition. It is a gift.
It really is. Anything else, boys?
Shout out to Michael Pollock, good friend of the show. Our guy, Coach Pollock, is now Colorado special teams coordinator after spending the last 2 seasons as an offensive analyst on the Buff staff. Deserving guy. We're excited to see somebody in that role after nobody was in it this past year in 2024. So,
or
at least not a full time
Yeah.
role. So yeah.
And Jake, I don't want to steal your point that you made to me before the show about why you think Coach Pollock is good for this job.
Well, just when we talked to him, man, and the way he always talked about how he watches so much other football to make sure that he knows what to tell the team not to do, basically. Like, he's a very thorough coach.
Yep.
And I think that in the special teams role, that's what you want and need. So shout out to him.
Special teams has a lot of loopholes.
Right.
That teams that understand them and exploit them are the ones that you're like, man, that team has great special teams. Mm-hmm. And Coach Pollock is kind of like a master of understanding the loopholes of the rule book.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see that. Maybe it manifests in a fake or, this one's become a little more mainstream now, but like when a team touches the ball down and then just leave it, like you can go pick it up and run it. Like those types of just little tips and tricks.
For sure. Laura the Goat with a super chat. Don't break a sweat. ...
On the escalator.
Enjoy this, Buff Nation. No worries from this fan. Only smiles. Hope and expectations. 2025 reloading. Facts.
Appreciate you, Laura.
East Coast Kev, one more time, too. Thank you, man. Andrew Swayze has inspired me to come up with a new hashtag.
It should be you.
It should be you.
You.
And I also just like buckle up.
Mm-hmm.
Almost feels like the 2025 slogan for me.
I like it.
But I also like it should be you.
I like it. When you bring in the jean jacket back, bro.
Did you bust it up for Sunday, didn't you?
I did. Well, I wore it
Broncos
for
game day?
Broncos shows because it's blue.
Fair.
So, it's one of the rare non-black things I have in my wardrobe. So I brought it out to have some, some blue accents.
Did y'all see Ed Reed and Ray Lewis are teaming up to coach a high school in Georgia?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Dang. That's sick.
Pretty dope.
All right. I think we're going later tomorrow, right? 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Neely will be here, though.
Yes.
So it'll be a good show.
And we are going later so that we can attend the public funeral service for Coach Mack tomorrow morning.
Shout out Coach Mack. Rest in peace. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Buckle
Let's go
up.
Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.